Have you ever lost a project in FL Studio? Well, FL Studio has 3 built-in functions that can help save you from losing a project. The first of these items is project folders. Project folders can help because it's a folder for your project that contains copies of all the sample files in one location. If your sample library moves and things become disconnected in your project, there's no worries because you have copies of those samples in your project folder. In order to set this up, we can go to Project General Settings. And then here where it says ask for a data folder, we'll do when saving unsaved projects only, simply because we don't want it asking when we make a new project because we might not want to save or keep that. And then we end up with a bunch of extra folders that we're not using. Then when we go to save a project, we will see this pop up here. In this pop up, we can name our project, which will be the name of the folder. And we want to make sure that we go ahead and click copy used samples to the project folder. This is probably going to be off by default. And in order to check that, we're going to want to make sure that create new project folder is also checked. If you'll see the save location here, under projects, we have test. If I uncheck this, it removes it. So we'll check and leave it. Something I actually didn't notice until making this video right now is we have an option to move files created for this project to the folder. I'm going to do copy because that's going to probably give us redundancy. If I had to guess, that means recorded audio and other items are probably going to save to our user data folder in FL Studio here, and then also save a copy to our project folder, which is great if we want to make sure we're not losing data required by or utilized by our projects. Because this isn't an actual project, I will cancel, and we will talk about item number 2, which is backups. So if you are not using project data folders, here in the browser is a main backup page. All of these for me are old because any of my backups are under the current project. If we go current project, and then somewhere in here would be backups. Let's open a project and check. Perfect. So now that this project is open, we'll see under project data, I have backups for this project here. Hopefully with the copy instead of move option from the project data folder settings that we just went over, I'll have a backup in here as well as a backup under the main backup folder. If you want to confirm, make sure this is on. You can go to options, and I believe it's under file settings. There it is. And we have backup. Now, I like to set mine to really frequently and when doing risky operations. This is going to save when opening plugins. Even while your song is playing, it's going to save at the frequency stated, which is every minute, and before other risky operations that could end up crashing the application. You can probably do less frequently, but if you do have crashing issues, and that is something you fight with, I would not go any longer than doing the every 5 minutes and before risky operations option. Because just the regularly every 5 minutes is not going to trigger before opening plugins. It's not going to save even while the audio is playing. And you may just find yourself having to go back a little bit farther if there is a crash. Aside from that, choose a range that you feel comfortable with. And here we have our location. So always save to global folder is going to put it in this backup folder. Save to the project data folder if there is one. Well, we just talked about project data folder and I showed you where it's at in mine. This maximum number here is the maximum amount of backups that can be saved before FL Studio starts deleting them. My assumption is this is per folder. So if you don't have much space on your computer and you feel like you really need to be careful, you can just keep it to the global data folder and set your maximum on there to something you're comfortable with so you don't have a crap ton of backup projects that are just hanging out for no reason. Now let's say you still somehow lose your samples and there was issues with the copies in the data folder and you don't have a working backup. Well then at that point you can do option number 3. Option 3 is going to be in the same window under browser extra search folders. Anything you put in this location, projects with missing samples will end up searching that folder and all of its subfolders for those missing samples. So you can put all your sample libraries in here, or if you have no idea where the audio might be, you can go ahead and click and just add your C drive here. And if we'll see, go to this PC, your C drive, or if you have an extra drive, such I can put the D as well. These hold all of the data for my entire computer, which means we're going to search the entire computer for any missing samples. Just be aware that depending on the drive and the size of data that you have, doing this could make projects load very slowly, especially ones searching for samples. For some of you, these options may seem simple and non-impressive, but if you have constantly crashing projects or you move your sample libraries around frequently, these objects can make a huge difference. So there you have it. We went over project data folders, backups, and the browser search function. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. Keep those projects safe, and God bless.